Welcome to Dartsmans Key Secret Life. Please welcome your guest host. From Blackpool, Sam Sheppard.
Hello everyone, this is Sam Sheppard and welcome to another episode of Dartsmans Key Secret Life. Dartman has asked me to do a chat on cold weather advice. Enjoy. And as you may know, this weather we haven't been having in the UK this week has been very cold, and with the cold does bring dangers, so I'm just going to go through a few helpful bits, tips and advice to help you keep safe and healthy during this cold snap. Hopefully, according to the forecast I saw today, 10th of January, I will note, mild weather should return in the next couple of days, but for now, this is advice you can keep. With this being the start of the winter, this advice might help you later down the line, so listen carefully as well. Firstly, the big thing is to try and stay warm and healthy as much as possible at home. So the main thing in your home is keeping warm. Your heating system. So try and make sure your heating system is working correctly, and try to have money available to keep it on, whether it is gas or electric. Unfortunately, a lot of people are struggling to keep the gas and the electric on, which is very sad, which means they are a bit colder at home. But there are ways to mitigate that, such as turning the thermostat down very slightly, or using hot water bottles and blankets, or only having the heat on for certain times of day. If you are struggling with electric or gas payment, please reach out to people, including your energy supplier. They may be able to help you. Especially my utility supplier, Utilita. They have hours during off-peak times where they will not cut your electric or gas off if you have no credits. Unfortunately, it is sad a lot of people can't afford it this year. But it is a priority to try and heat your home as much as possible when it's really cold, or else you may end up with poorer health or run into health problems such as cold, flu and pneumonia, or worse. It's especially important for young children or the elderly, the sick and disabled, to make sure they are nice and warm at home. The other thing you can do at home is to make sure you've got comfortable clothing and blankets and hot water bottles to hand, especially when going to bed at this time of year. Make sure you've got a warm quilt where possible. I know this is all advice that everyone knows, but it's good to remind people. I know a lot of people can't afford a lot of this stuff, but reach out. Help is in the community if needed. The next thing we're going to talk about is taking care outside. Because unfortunately, despite all this snow and ice, for most people, normal life has to go on. Most of us have to still go out and about. However, I do advise those who don't need to be out to only go out if you need to be, though. Especially if you're older or disabled. It may be good. Maybe some good advice to try and stay at home as much as possible. It is harder to do, but you don't want to be falling over on the ice. I nearly fell over yesterday myself, so I know what it's like. And when you do go out, you need to be wary of icy conditions, especially where the sun may not be able to melt any ice or snow. When you are out and about, dress appropriately. Make sure you're wearing a good coat and shoes with adequate grip when you're out and about, especially your shoes, because if you've got shoes with poor grip, you're more likely to have a bad fall. If your shoes have better grip, you may be better when you're out and about. And the other big thing to do is make sure you give extra time when you're out and about, whether it's walking, cycling or driving. And if you are driving, take extra care on the roads. So maybe drive that a little bit slower. Make sure your car's properly de-iced. So if you are going out and about, give extra time to do it. And as for public transport will attempt to run as good as possible. In a lot of areas, you're probably going to just get a normal service, but there may be the odd delay, diversion or cancellation. So just be aware of that. Check before you travel is my advice if you do use public transport regularly. And the final section we're going to talk about is weather warnings and emergencies. As if it gets too extreme with ice and snow, there may be warnings out not to go out and about, which may mean there'll be disruption to your day-to-day life, such as school or work closures, or public transport coming to a halt, or road closures. So always check online to make sure you're up to date, or be prepared at home as well. Make sure you have the extra blankets. Make sure you've got a little bit of extra food or toiletries in, just in case. Make sure if it's really bad snow and ice, make sure things like mobile phones are charged, just in case of power cuts, or in really cold weather, potential disruption to other utilities as well. Also, if the worst happens, only call 999 in an emergency. But if you do have to go because you've fallen ill or had a slip or fall, you end up in A&E, please be patient and kind. The NHS are very busy at this time of year. Please be patient and kind. And make sure you all try to stay as safe and as warm as possible. It's very hard to do, but just keep doing it. Spring will come again soon, and I'm looking forward to when the spring does return, when the warm weather comes back, which I hope it does soon. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Dartsmans. Sorry, this is my first time doing this, so be nice. Dartsman will be back on the next episode, thankfully. Don't worry, I won't be back unless you want me back. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. You don't know me.